Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced, and I thought I would do another video on the C programming language. And in this video, what I'm going to be doing is talking about functions. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new file. So new file, funcs.c, and then I'm going to copy all of this and paste it over. Okay. Copy all of this because I also want the command there. Funcs.c, good. Okay, and then I'll just update this to say funcs.c. So that way it'll just save me some time later. Okay, cool. So let me just clear all this out. Okay. So functions. So I'm going to assume that chances are if you're watching this particular series of videos, you've probably gotten here from some of my other videos on programming languages, whether they be JavaScript, Python, Ruby, whatever. So you might be familiar with what functions are. But essentially functions are just being able to create a clump of procedures or code that you can call upon by name. Okay, so for example. So first we always start off by declaring the return value of the function. Okay, in this case the return value of the function is void because I'm not going to return anything. Then we put the name of the function, so we're just going to say hello. Okay, and then basically say hello. Okay, and that should basically be how that looks. Okay. So all I'm going to do is every time we use this function, all I want to do is print f hello world. So all this function does is print f or print hello world onto the screen. But now that I have this procedure labeled under the say hello command, I can use it over and over again. So I can be like say hello, like casting a spell. And this seems kind of silly because it's one line of code that's inside the say hello function, but imagine like you're talking about 1,000 lines of code that I can repeat anytime I want by just typing in a command like that. So now let's actually test it out, see if it says hello 3 times. So I'll run the compiler. Errors. Oh, I'm in the wrong folder. CD exercises. Oops. And there you go. And you see hello world, hello world, hello world. This would probably be better if I added a new line break. So that way it breaks onto a new line. And try it again. And there you go. Hello world, hello world, hello world. Cool. So that's essentially how you write a function. And here's the thing. I don't even have to write this whole thing there. Okay, I could write it below main. So for example, if I didn't want to keep all these function declarations here at the top, I could do what's called a function prototype or a function signature. So I'm just declaring the function. So I'm just saying void say hello. There's this function I'm declaring. And then what will happen is I actually do I actually define it over here. So say hello. Okay. So then what happens is that even though I declare it here, it'll then use this definition here for when I execute it. So let's test it out. There it goes, and it works. Now if I didn't take that out, let's say I comment that out, okay, then it'll break. Okay, it still figured it out, but you see it gave me some warnings as well. Okay, because technically it's treating this, it's thinking this may be, this initial use of it may be the definition, and it's like, hey, you didn't specify a type, or it conflicts or whatnot. So you avoid that by just declaring your functions above, and you can define them below. Either way is fine. Cool. But now let's say I'm going to pass in a variable of some sort. Okay, so let's say I want to do this. I want to actually pass in a string. So that would be of type character. So you have to define the actually I have to define this twice. So it's going to be a character. Because again in the prototype I have to the type has to match, which means not only does the return type void have to match, but also the type of the parameters. So there's going to be a character parameter called, we'll call it stir, and that's an array of characters. So that declares it as an array of characters. See what it doesn't like it. Declaration isn't compatible with void. Okay, yeah, it's complaining because this doesn't match yet. So car stir. Okay, and see now they match, and so it'll stop complaining. Okay, so now what I can do is I can pass in a string. So I'll pass in cheese. I'll pass in hello. I'll pass in world. And then instead, I can replace this with %s, so that way we interpolate a string. And then we just put in stir. Okay, nice. So essentially what happens is that this, whatever I pass in here, so this is called an argument. I'm passing in an argument. This is called a parameter. The parameter is kind of like a cubbyhole to receive the argument. So the argument cheese gets stored in the parameter of stir, which I can then use within the function. And this way I can, have different parameters on different invocations of the function. So now if I run the code, there you go, cheese world, hello world. Now let's say I want to actually return a value instead. Okay, so which is probably maybe most of the time you want the function to give you something back. So I want this function to give you back the string. Okay, give that a shot. I might have to type it a little bit differently, because that seems like I want to return one character. But let's try that out first. So let's see here. So in this case, we're just going to say I want to return stir. Okay. And then these we're going to change these. I'm going to actually wrap these in printfs. Printf %s new character or new line. And then again, we're going to interpolate the string that is the return value of, say, hello. So when I write this, it's like putting in the return value of, say, hello. So I'm saying, say hello is going to return a string, and I want that string to be interpolated where the %s is. And I'm just going to copy and paste this. So that's ideally what I would like. I have a feeling I'm going to get an error, though. I did. Okay, one, I do need semicolons. So I really enjoy the errors that the C compiler gives me. They're very clear, and I like that they give you suggestions. So here it shows me what's wrong, and here it shows me what I need to replace it with. I mean, car from a function with return type character. Ah, okay, I see. So we want to use a pointer. We haven't talked about pointers yet, but we will. Okay. There we go. Let's see if that makes it feel better. And now it works. Okay. We'll talk about pointers a little bit later, but basically the idea is this. This little asterisk basically says I'm not returning a character. I'm returning a pointer to a character. So I'm returning what's really like an address to where a piece of information is stored in memory. So it's like I'm giving you someone's address. So if you want to find that person, you need to go to that address. So essentially I've created this piece of data in here, stir, and what I'm really returning is the address of where that data is, so that way I can use it on the outside of the function. So I'm like, hey, we created this data inside the function. Here's the address to where it is located. It is in variable protection, but you can access it by going to this address. Okay, yeah, so that's essentially what you have to do there, because it's a string, and I figured it was going to be something like that because I couldn't type the function to return an array, or at least I don't think I can. This is the way I'm thinking about how like the typing syntax works. But yeah, no, that would make sense. You're pointing to where the array of strings is, the string itself. Okay, so that's this video on functions in C. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day and enjoy.